Here's a 1969 Mustang Mach 1. It had one owner before me until last year. It has 117,000 original miles. It's very original paint. Matching number 351 4-barrel M code. It's nicely optioned. The M code 351 4-barrel automatic, candy apple red paint, black deluxe interior, got power steering, power disc brakes, visibility group, have all the original documentation from the purchase, the invoice, the window sticker, everything. Overall, it's a pretty solid car. It's got minor rust spots here and there that I will show. It sat for over 30 years when we bought it. Our intention was to restore it with my son, but I think this car should be left stock, restored to original, and he wants to modify one, so we found a 70 fastback that he can modify. This is too original of a car to modify. It's original carburetor, exhaust manifolds, original radiator. Actually, it has a Holley carburetor on it, but the original carburetor comes with. It runs good. Since we were keeping it, we pre-oiled the motor before we started it. It needs exhaust, but actually the motor runs good. It has transmission works well. We went through all the brakes, new master cylinder, all new rubber lines, new wheel cylinders, new calipers, everything, because since we were keeping it, we wanted to make sure everything was squared away. So other than having very old tires, the car really, and needing exhaust, the car really could be driven. Just minor rust starting in the doors. You can see quarters are actually pretty solid. Of course, there's the dent there. Not too big of a deal, but real solid quarters. Of course, it's got the original data plate. This is the kind you want to buy to restore. It's the kind that's worth top dollar when done, because it's all matching number, well optioned. It's always been a Washington car. Has the original wheels that are in nice shape. Trim rings and caps are in nice shape. I think I found one ding on this cap, or excuse me, on this ring, but all the other rings and caps are real nice. Engine has some old electronic ignition that was added. And obviously it has some aluminum valve covers. Like I said earlier, it also has a Holley 600 on it, but I do have the original carburetor. It's got the original radiator, shroud, all original. Exhaust manifolds, of course the original intake manifold. It does have the typical rust in the aprons. On top there, shock towers look nice. They've never been cut. Hood has some rust. The car sat outside for quite some time. Moisture just sat down in there. But other than that, all stock. Doesn't look like it's ever been hit up front. The fenders have matching date codes. Interior is pretty much all original. Door panels are actually pretty nice. Original upholstery. It's actually pretty nice as well. Not quite perfect, but nice. Good for a driver. Carpet, believe it or not, is original. Well, it's a bit dirty, but not too bad a shape. It has original, of course, Mach 1 inserts. Dash pad has typical cracking. Headliner needs to be replaced. Really, for the most part, untouched. Take a look underneath the Mach 1. See, it's all original. It's pretty solid up here. Engine, of course, does have some leaks, being that it's the lower end's never been apart. Just a little spot of rust in that torque box. And the only rust in the floors is right there. The rest of the floors look real good on both sides. Passenger side floor looks good. Torque box looks good. Frame rail, everything. Wheelhouse looks good. A little bit of rust at the bottom. Really, it's in the trunk drop-off. I'll show that in a second. See that driver's side trunk drop-off has a little bit of rust around the drain. It'll need to be patched. Everything else underneath looks good down back here. Frame rails around the gas tank. Passenger side drop off actually looks good. And everything else on this side looks good. Back under here, frame rail. A little bit of rust on the lip there. Rust on the front lip also. The wheelhouse for the most part looks pretty good. Some rust in the battery tray. See that the brakes are new, including the brake lines, front and back. see the original mileage. Pretty much everything works. The wipers, the heat, the oil pressure gauge. Temperature gauge doesn't seem to work, probably just needs a new sending unit. The fuel sender was replaced, but the gauge still does not seem to work. It goes up a little, but not as much as it should. Probably got a bad sending unit. Interior lights, turn signals, reverse lights even. Horn doesn't work, it needs to have the new switch. The wheel needs to be restored, you can see. There has an aftermarket radio, and some aftermarket speakers on the rear deck, but no speaker holes in the rear quarters or in the doors. Take a look on the trunk. Some rust right at the top of the taillight panel, typical. There's the original carburetor. It's the original front license plate. Has that. I have a copy of the original title for the car. That license is listed on it. The original rear plate is on the car still, believe it or not. The lip on the trunk lid is actually pretty good. The only spot is right there. It just needs a small patch, but really overall it's pretty good trunk lid. Trunk is pretty good. Pretty solid in there. And the gas tank all looks pretty solid. We replaced all the rubber fuel lines. Thought we were going to have to replace the fuel tank because it had sat so long, but actually when we pulled it to replace the sending unit and replace the tank, we looked inside and the bottom of it was beautiful, no surface rust at all, so we left the original tank in there, but blew out the lines, all new rubber fuel lines, all new rubber brake lines, everything. Started up here. Overall, this would make a great car to restore, being that it's so original. This is the kind that's worth top dollar done because it does have all the matching numbers. The matching number is engine, has a VIN stamped in the back of the block. All those original engine parts are still there. Never been restored, never been messed with. It's just a great car to restore. Or you could just put exhaust on it and do a few things and drive it the way it is. It's got that patina look that's in style right now. Start it up. Has the seatbelt warning light. Has the see the emergency brake light works. Good oil pressure. Gas gauge goes up a bit, but it's a little loud because of the exhaust, but the motor doesn't make any noise. Actually runs pretty decent.